Good afternoon. It is afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just ask before we start this, how many of you have actually seen the film? All right, another question. How many of you haven't seen the film? Okay. So the format will be that we've got some clips to show, and so on and so on and so on. And the lady herself has kindly agreed to sort of take some questions towards the end, if that appears to be the right thing to do. So we've got about an hour, so I really hope you enjoy it. It's a pretty special occasion for Sheffield. It's an even more special occasion for DocFest, and it's an especially special occasion for me. I never dreamt in all my life I'd end up interviewing the person we're about to meet. So, to get it off to a proper start, your appreciation, please, for Miss Joan Rivers.
Saw the film, so we know if we should just...
It's slightly more, about half and half.
Okay, so
we've got some clips. So.
We can talk about other things too, okay.
Oh, we can. Before we get started, I think you stayed at Chatsworth.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Tell me.
Yeah, it was just fabulous. It's like out of a movie. You know, because you're English, you know, but for an American, you say, oh, look at this, and this is wonderful, and look how the bathroom doesn't work, and this is beautiful. It's all, you know, and look, there's a sheep out there, look, there's all this. And so it was great, it was amazing.
So that's a good start.
Yeah, great start.
Okay. Well, look, to get us going, we'll start with, there's a clip from the very beginning of the film,
okay.
Which just does rather set it off, I think. So if we can have the first clip, that would be great.
Joan Rivers. You know, you're going to be a big star.
Oh, here's my daffy little friend, Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers, the groundbreaking female comedian, paves the way for women everywhere.
You know, I know who's gay and who's not gay. Can we talk here?
And the Emmy goes to
Joan Rivers.
So, what possessed you to make this film, or to let these people make this film?
Well, every time I see that, I say the same thing.
It is the obvious question, if I may say.
What possessed you, asshole? But I did the film because they asked me. I wish I had a deeper answer, but I don't.
Well, there's a bit shortly after that in the film with I think you're the agent. I think it's the agent who says, you know. Nothing's happening right now, she needs some heat. Yeah. Which is a sort of feature of, as one discovers in the film, that's a sort of feature of your life in America, the entertainment industry.
Right.
It's up or down, rarely in between.
Oh, and I always think I'm down. I never enjoy the up, because
so,
I never know I'm up.
At the beginning of the film, there's also the scenes where you're looking at the empty appointment books.
Yes.
Was that really how it was then?
Oh, well, that's how it is all the time. Our business, there's no security. My dad was a doctor. He built a practice. People loved him. They came to him. My sister's a barrister. People come to her. With us, it's exactly what you've done the last time. I was on the Carson Show 20 years, and at one time I asked one of the producers, and I was the permanent guest hostess, you know, all that stuff. And I said, how many times if I wasn't good on the show, would you have me back? And I said, I bet it's 3. And he said to me, 2. And he wasn't kidding. And that's our business. You damn well better be good every goddamn time.
So how does the daughter of a doctor, you know, yeah, treat herself with what? Yeah. Yes. How does the daughter of a doctor, a family sort of, you know, come from Russia, you know, all lots and lots of uncertainty, lots of upheaval, so on and so on, just about settle down. You kind of think, now, if not time for the quiet life, it's certainly time for enjoy the security. How do you end up doing this?
But I guess I just never had a choice. And that sounds very dramatic. But from the time I could put a sentence together, a thought together, I wanted to be in the theater. It's all I know. It's all I ever wanted. That's where I was going. And we talk about that in the film. I look at my daughter's friends and most of well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be this and that. And you go, you're not sure? You know what I mean? How could you not be sure? I knew at 3 where I was going. I sat in a movie theater with my mother, and we watched a girl named Margaret O'Brien do a movie called Journey for Margaret. And I was sitting there holding a Hershey bar, maybe 4 years old, thinking, I can do that, and why aren't I doing that? Furious at 4. I'm furious. Feet are off the ground and you're angry. You know?
So was it when you say it's you want to act? Is it that you want to be in the public eye? Do you want people to?
I love the process. I love for anyone that's an actor or a writer. I love you sit down and there's nothing, and then it grows, or you get the idea. I love writing sessions. I love when you're creating, when you're rehearsing, and it starts to click. That to me is so exciting. I love the process.
So you get as much out of the stuff that isn't the performance itself.
It's the process. That's why in my act, or my concert, as you call it, my concert, which is my fucking act, but anyway, my concert. I never know what I'm going to do. My fun is not knowing. It's like a deck of cards. I know what I'm going to talk about, but I don't know which order. And that's the fun of putting it all together on stage. It's the creating of it.
Are you an addictive personality, do you think?
Think so? Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't mean that.
I think I would be the biggest drug addict if I didn't have this as my drug.
And is the drug about being in front of people, about getting reaction? Is it?
Drug is being in the business. I always say like I'm a cheap whore. I love the writing. I love the performing. I love editing. Have you ever edited?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And you get something and it's wrong. And then you put her walking the other way and it works. And the excitement of that. I just love the process. Anything. I love stage design. Anything.
I read that the degree you did was in English and anthropology.
Yeah, really helps.
Does anthropology tell us anything about you?
Anthropology tells you that they lived very well in ancient Egypt. But I like anthropology. I would be an anthropologist now if I could have a hairdresser and a makeup person come with me on a dig.
Did you decide to sort of establish a character that was kind of very edgy, very out there, sort of deliberately controversial, coarse, rude, push the boundaries? Did you decide that, or did it just sort of, that's just what you're like?
Never figured anything out, and still don't. No. I let it go. I have some friends that absolutely know what they're doing, and they say, I'm going to be that on stage. No, I just go on stage and just carry on. And I also am very shy, as we all are in our business, in person. So I think coming on stage, you can be so mouthy. And you can say all the things you never say at the dinner party.
Are these things that sort of, do they crop up in your head in real life, but you just don't say them because it's just not done in polite society to tell somebody to F off or this or that or
exactly.
do this or squash that, sit here? Whatever. Are these things that occur in your head in real life?
Yes.
Or do you have to kind of become a different person, go away, write them, think about it, and become the mouthy bitch, as it were?
No.
Sorry.
No,
I mean
that
in the nicest possible way.
No, that's why I'm terrible at business, because I think the whole thing's a joke, and we'll be sitting there at a very serious conference on some contract. You're going to go, isn't this stupid? And you just know. No, it's very bad. I'm very bad in business because of that. Because I'm always thinking of the funny thing.
Right.
At a funeral, I'm thinking of the funny thing. I'm always seeing everything funny.
Is that something you do? Does that help you with your? Because the other thing about with your looking at you see it in this film, but you've had plenty of ups and downs in your own life. Lots and lots of things have gone. Things have gone very well. Other things have gone very badly. You had to deal with quite a lot of stuff, and we see that in the film. Is humour the way you deal with that? Is that what you're going on in your head?
Totally. I've never not two negatives, which is the but I've never not made a joke about something terrible. Terrible. That's how I deal with it. And people get very upset, you know. But my friends know me so well, I call them up and I say, ready for a joke yet? And I have one friend who his play closed and his brother died the same week. That's tough. And he called me up and I said to him, I saw your brother in the back row and he was booing. And he was funny, but he's probably my only brother gets it. And he was laughing hilariously. And when I just stared, like, can't say that.
So, let's go back to the film for a second. It's set up as a year in the life of. Is it roughly speaking, is the film roughly speaking how it happened?
Oh, totally, to the point where Ricky Stern, the director, excuse me, she thought it was going to be about the play in the beginning. And she thought we were going to take, for those of you that don't know, we follow me in the beginning. I wrote this play and we took it to Edinburgh, great success, in London, great success. Edinburgh, great success, San Francisco, LA, great success. Take it to London and 50-50. We make it, she only lets me read. That's the only thing I'm angry about Ricky. We only show the bad reviews in this. And she thought we were going to follow it then into New York. And suddenly this poor woman, I said in London, we're not taking it into New York. And she didn't know what else to do, so she just figured, I don't know, you have to ask Vicky. She followed me, and it turned out to be, I think, much more interesting than following another play.
But when the film starts...
we had no idea, no idea.
When the film starts, it's, you know, your career's in a bit of a dip.
Yes.
The bookings, the list, it looks like it's empty. It's not entirely empty.
Yes,
There's not enough work and so on and so on.
Oh, there's always work, but it's not the kind of work that you want.
And so by the end of the year, when you've been through the Celebrity Apprentice and most of it, and there's that scene where you say, you're on the phone and you say to your assistant, you say, we've been picked up, we've been picked up. What was picked up?
One of my two shows that are still on, How'd You Get So Rich, which was picked up right there. And then there's another show now that's just been picked up, The Fashion Review. So I'm on a good turn at the moment.
And was the Celebrity Apprentice, was that a kind of...
Celebrity Apprentice, which I did not want to do, which you talk about in the film, I just thought, it turned out to be amazing. Amazing thing that you got to remember age. Everybody, you know, it's a renaissance, or as you people say, renaissance. I love that. And I always say that for 2 days when I come back to the United States, and they say, "Oh, stop it, Joan." Well, I was reading about the Renaissance. Oh, fuck off, Joan. Shut up. So, but anyhow, in the back of the lorry. But, what was the question?
I can't remember. It doesn't matter in the slightest.
Doesn't matter.
But since we're obviously in need of a laugh, I thought, can we have a look at the second clip about the joke drawer?
These are all my jokes. These are jokes over the last 30 years. These are just... Every time I write a joke, I try to remember to get it on a card. Why should a woman cook? So her husband can say, my wife makes a delicious cake to some hooker? And you wonder why I'm still working at this age. People think it comes so easily. They have no idea that what you're doing is a terrifically difficult thing to do. And I prepare like a crazy lady. I mean, here I am. I mean, everything is just, everywhere you look, there are jokes. Everywhere there are jokes to be filed, jokes to be written, jokes that I thought of something. I mean, my life is just jokes.
Are you the sort of person that can you lead in inverted commas, a normal life as well as be the comedian, or we see in the film the people who run your house, for example, that nice chap and his wife.
Yes.
She's the brains behind the.
Yeah, Kevin and Debbie. Yeah.
And it's also all, and then there's the check signing thing, and somebody turns up with a check, and there's your assistant who's here, and so there are people who are around you. Do you run your own life?
I don't know anymore if I run my own life. I like to think I run my own life, but I don't even make an attempt to know what I'm doing. People think
there's a few faces over there which suggest to me that they are not sure that
this is Jocelyn, who was in the film. And people think, well, can you have dinner next week? I say, let me ask Jocelyn. And because she has the book. We live by the book. And I have learned a long time ago, every night on my pillow is put the next day's schedule, which we've gone over. But I don't know anymore who runs my life.
How much preparation do you actually put into it? So we see various comedy performances in the clubs. How much preparation is each one of those?
Do you have my Graham Norton? Yes. Let me just show you. I'm doing Graham Norton. Now, this is like my 19th time doing Graham, and I should be relaxed. This is my goddamn notes for Graham Norton tonight. On and on and on and on, and pages of notes. A lot of work goes into it. Do you think it's funny to say, I dated Moses. I gave Moses herpes. There could have been 15 commandments, but he got itchy. I lied.
Yeah.
So it never stops. The preparation goes on, weeks of preparation. When people say to me, oh, just come and say a few words. Are you out of your mind? Yeah. That's 3 days' work.
Yeah. No, I can see that. You said, at one point, you say that you see yourself as an actress who plays a comedian.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I'm an actress. But I think all comedians, all comics, whatever you want to call it, of course, that's a person you are on stage. And to have to say the same line 500 times if you're on tour, that's acting. You know, you don't think about it, but that's acting. But
the other thing about acting is one imagines acting is, it's partly about being able to get into and illustrate and be people that you're not. I mean, as well as being people perhaps you are.
Right.
Your character appears, from the look of it, to have been reasonably consistent. There are aspects. So, is this you or is this an act?
I don't know anymore. It's like saying to Woody Allen, "Why do the women sleep with you?" You know what I mean? Is it because you're a nice little short guy who's kind of sweaty, or is it because you're this brilliant film person? But you're all one. You're all together.
So the public Joan Rivers, the comedian Joan Rivers, that's Joan Rivers.
I don't know. I think my friends see the funny part. I certainly am funny with my friends sometimes, but I think I'm softer. I don't know.
Are there places?
I haven't got that many friends, so it doesn't matter.
Is that true?
True.
You said that. I read.
True.
I was fishing about in Wikipedia, and you said some ages and ages ago. You said I don't have many friends.
No, I have very few friends. A million acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? I can go to a dinner party every night in the week. But friends, when something good happens, and I say it in the film, how many people are there to call up that really care, that you care?
Has that always been the case for you?
Well, it's getting worse now because they're dropping like flies. But yeah, there are very few people something wonderful happens to you that you really want to tell it to, that are really going to be happy about it.
Do you think you're different from other people in that respect? Do you look at the world and think, oh, they've got lots of friends? Or do you think everyone's really like you but just doesn't say it?
I like to think, and that's an egotistical thing to say, that maybe I've been harsher. I've looked at it in broader daylight. Because I know we all have, especially now with Facebook, oh, want to be my friend? It should be called, want to be my acquaintance. But acquaintance me.
Acquaintance book doesn't quite come off.
Acquaintance me. I don't know, but I know my good friends are the friends forever. And that upsets me too. It's in the film. When you lose a person forever. That you've got all that history.
Now, I hesitate to ask you this because I don't know what the situation is, but again, in the film, on this front, your manager, Billy,
yes.
In the beginning of the film, he's around a lot. You talk very fondly of him as someone who's been there in your life. At one stage, when he departs the scene, you look almost close to tears, actually. One of the couple of moments in the film when you seem genuinely moved by the fact that he's not there. You say he's your memory bank.
Totally. He's one of my memories, of course.
Can you tell what happened?
I'm not allowed to talk about it, unfortunately. Okay. Guess what that means. But So I can't
Okay.
comment on that. But yes, I look at my daughter, and the biggest regret I have with my daughter, who's 38 now, is that I only had one child because I had 3 miscarriages and a tubular pregnancy, so it wasn't for not wanting more. And I think when I die, and she goes, who is she going to say to somebody? Do you remember, which is true, we had a mural painted on dining room, and Mother made all the horses have smiles. You know what I mean? And there's nobody that's going to give a damn about that. Or do you remember when the dog wouldn't come out of the bushes for 4 days? And that's the tragedy of everybody's life, when your collective memories begin to go away. You don't have someone to say that to.
And is that because the people who possess them sort of go away for whatever reason? They die off or they depart?
Billy goes away in the film. At this age, you know, they're dying. And it's terribly sad. And it's harder as you get older to make very good friends.
There's another moment in the film which again, maybe it's just me, but I sort of found quite touching. When you see you're going around giving out the Thanksgiving Day dinners, and you meet the woman who's, I don't know what's the matter, she looks pretty ill anyway, and she's obviously housebound and so on and so on.
MS.
And you give her the dinner, and then you go up, then the next scene is you've Googled her. Was it your idea to Google? Did you think?
We all wanted to see it. I said in the thing that I'm going to go home and watch it. For those that haven't seen the film, I deliver meals to AIDS, and it's now no longer AIDS. It's people that need home meals. And it's this organization I work for. And every Thanksgiving I go, and they send me to this woman who has MS very badly, and she's in this terrible little one-room apartment, and it's cluttered, and it's everything you do. And we're bringing her one dinner for Thanksgiving. I mean, and I go up, and you do all that stupidity. Hello, and happy Thanksgiving, and let's take pictures, and la, 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 la. And then we went home, and she was a photographer. And we went home, we Googled her, and I didn't realize they were filming me while we watched her. And there she was, vibrant and edgy and an artist. And she had been in all these magazines, and she had done this amazing work. It killed me to see that.
Why?
Because life sucks. And if you don't enjoy every good moment of it, you are a fool. A fool. And that is my philosophy. I don't let things upset me more than an hour. Move on. And you've got shoes, and you've got an indoor toilet, you dumb bitch. And you can still remember your name, so fuck off and go ahead. I am so about that. I get so angry at people that don't get how good we have it.
Again, I was reading, have there been times in your life when it wasn't so easy to do that? I mean, I'm thinking with the loss of your husband.
My husband committed suicide and left me with no money. I was fired from my jobs. I was giving back my Vegas contract. They said people don't want to see someone with that much unhappiness. Blah, blah, blah. My daughter stopped talking to me. It was a very rough time.
But
I had to move forward. What are you going to do?
How long did it take you to sort of turn yourself around from that?
About 7.5 minutes. No, that's...
Melissa, where are you? She's watching, you know.
Time to go. No, but I had no choice but to turn myself around. What was I going to do? I had all this... I run a business, and I have relatives that I take care of, and people that I couldn't just collapse. And I didn't want, with suicide, and we're getting too serious, that's some legacy to give your daughter, isn't it? Daddy killed himself, and then Mommy did it too.
Did it cross your mind?
Oh, yes. Of course. I almost killed myself. I was feeling very sorry for myself one day. And I went into my dressing room. I took out a gun. This one, Melissa wasn't talking to me. And nobody... And I sat down, and this still makes me cry. And I took out the gun, and I really thought... I'm very dramatic. But at the time, I really thought, I'm going to kill myself. Nobody needs me. I kept saying, nobody needs me. And I had this little Yorkie, here I go, my darling Spike, who came over and sat in my lap. It should be in a movie. And I thought, you need me, because you're such a mean little son of a bitch. Nobody will take it.
No one will feed you.
Nobody liked him. Everyone hated Spike except me. I thought, you're fucked. I didn't have those words then. You're screwed if I kill myself. And that's why I didn't. I put the gun away. Sat right in my lap on the gun.
So, we're not for a little Yorkie.
We're not for this.
We may not be sitting here now.
This little mean Yorkie, this little mangy Yorkie. Yeah, he was my heart. I loved him.
Do you really think you might have gone through then?
Probably if I'd had pills, except I couldn't do it to Melissa. I think that would have been at the final moment. At some point, I would have said, look what you're leaving a 15-year-old to deal with.
Was that the hardest point in your life?
Yeah, that was the lowest point in my life.
So when you develop a routine, so you turn that around and start saying,
what are you going to do? What's the choice?
You keep saying that. As you say that a lot in the film, you say, I don't have a choice.
There's no choice. Either kill yourself or get on with it. It's very British.
Yeah. I think we've got...
Onwards, let's go. See, I buy into your movies.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure we can let you have the festival revolver if needs must. It's kept in the office for the staff, but mind you using it. Well, look, I think let's have another clip, and I think we should see the comedy club.
Oh, all right.
This is a good one. Stand by.
Mohammed, it's going to be a long evening. We're doing 2 shows tonight. Yes. Oh, my goodness, yes, of course.
I love you.
Every Wednesday night when I'm in New York, I work at some tiny little club where I can practice my act. I just talk about anything and everything that annoys me.
Thank you.
You don't get the recognition you deserve.
Damn right, William. Okay, see? I have a fan. I have William. The minute you're not angry about things, the minute you're not upset about things, what are you talking about? Oh, my grandson was so cute. It's not my comedy. I'm furious about everything. Furious about everything. Good things don't always happen to good people. And I'm very angry about it. But if I didn't have the anger, I wouldn't be a comedian. Anger fuels a comedy. I hate everybody. I hate old people. I hate ugly children. I hate fat people. I hated China. I hate whiners. Oh, I hate dead people. I even had the 3 wise men who I hate. I love anal sex because you can do other things, you know? It's like, you can iron, you can read a book, get your emails on your BlackBerry.
Now, you know, you said that these jokes, the things that crop up in real life, in your mind. No, I won't go there. I'm sorry, that's unfair. You talk there about anger, in all seriousness, and without anger, you couldn't. You don't strike me as an angry person.
Oh, I am so angry. I'm angry about everything, of course.
Angry?
Of course. Yes.
I mean, angry like to bang fists on table, angry.
Yes, angry about you asses. Stop using plastic bottles. I'm angry about everything. Age, which I'm angry. Oh, I'm so tired of people. Oh, she's 77 years young, and you want to say you're 350 pounds thin. I mean, it's like, you know, it's not a compliment.
But you're not really angry, are you?
I'm angry because you want to say, everybody stop. We are ruining the world. I'm angry on a cosmic level. Yeah, I'm angry. I'm also angry because I can't lose weight. I'm also angry on a very shallow level.
Is angry I mean, maybe it's just me fishing after nothing here, but is angry the right word?
Probably not.
Is it? I mean, do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking?
Oh, no. I wake up in the middle and I go, I'm the luckiest woman alive. I know that, too. I mean, my God, at this age, that they want you, that you're busy, that you're still doing what you love, that my daughter is healthy, that my grandson is normal and healthy. My God almighty, how lucky am I. I always say in a previous life, I washed lepers' feet. I must have done something very good in a previous life. No, I know how lucky I am. Every time, as I say in the movie, and it sounds so, in a way, it's so silly. But every time they send a limousine for me, and they've been doing that since 1968, I say, "There's a limousine outside." Yeah! And then, "Good afternoon, Ms. Rivers. Good afternoon, John." But in the back, I'm going, oh, I know. It's such a lucky life. So lucky. So lucky. And I know that. But I'm angry about everything. And aren't you? When you look around.
Blackberries are a killer. I agree.
What?
Yeah, the blackberries are a killer.
Yeah.
When you, again, we saw it in the beginning there, you have been a sort of a fairly controversial, you've been a controversial comic, you've been sort of out there, quite a long time. One of the relatively few, in fact, very few, I think, female comedians who've achieved anything like your status. I mean, how is it as misogynistic as history would suggest it? Was it really, when you started, how unusual were you?
Looking back, I was very unusual. I never crossed my mind. I was too busy trying to get there. But when I think back, it was Richard Pryor and George Carlin and Woody and me and David Brenner, and they were all men and me. But I never thought in those terms. And they all got through ahead of me, and I still never thought because I was a woman. Looking back, you go, yeah, they couldn't hear those things coming out of a woman's mouth. But it never hit me then.
And you talk about in the film about the female comedian who introduced the roast. What's her name? Is it Katie or Kathy?
Kathy Griffin, good friend.
Right, Kathy Griffin. You're very rude. You're very rude about her. There's that line where you say that she always says, I have a lot of respect for Joan. She opened all the doors for me, and you saying, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah. Well, I'm very competitive. We're very good friends, and she's wonderful, and she's having her moment. And she didn't get her moment until she was 46 years old, so she's flying now, and it's great. But it is taking club dates of me, and I get it. Who would you rather have? Joan Rivers, we've all seen her, or Kathy Griffin? Ooh, let's go to Kathy Griffin. And so, yes, she's taken a lot of money out of my pocket, and I don't mind at all. I'm a little sorry that she doesn't say sometimes, "Oh, let Joan have that date." But I love her. But of course we're competitive.
Is it any easier for women comics now, do you think?
I think it's easier for the doors to open for women comics. But I think it comes down to, you got to be funny. Don't use it as a crutch. Well, I'm a woman, so they're not booking me. No, they're not booking you because I saw your set. Who cares? But it's easier, I think, now for them. But then they've got to be very funny, and you've got to talk about everything.
I was also reading about you that you apart from this great long list of shows, as long as you're on, that you've done various things and whatever, and some films and one thing or another, and you've had your Hollywood star in the sort of, what is it, the Avenue of...
Oh, anyone can have that. That's such bullshit.
Is it? Well, you had one. You've got one.
Because they pay... It's PR. You pay money. If you have a big film coming out, they pay them money and they put a star down. Then everyone says, "Oh, you got your star in Hollywood?" Yeah, $5,000 I got my star.
That would explain why you are the only person in this room, I venture, who's actually got one.
Yeah, because they didn't have a smart agent or CBS or NBC or BBC to buy the star.
All right, but it symbolises at least being part of the sort of the A-list celebrity entertainment industry set.
Yes.
But you're not really. In fact, in the film, you complain a lot, I think, as far as I can see, about being excluded.
Totally excluded.
Well, first of all, are you really excluded? Secondly, if you are, why?
I don't know. Am I really excluded? I think I'm really excluded. I'm not invited to the good parties. I'm the only person that doesn't get the film to look at ahead of time. Everyone gets, before Academy Awards, all your friends have, "Well, I got the DVD, they sent me the DVD. I have to plead with old movie actresses that I know. "Can I borrow your DVD?" You know what I'm talking about, Jocelyn. I have to take that old bitch to dinner, at least. This is old movie actress.
I didn't catch the name.
Yeah, I think I'm very excluded. But I think that's good. I run under the... But the people come. You know what I mean? That's the nice thing. I don't go to Streisand's house for dinner, but it doesn't matter because I'm out on the stage doing what I love. Barbara ain't gonna laugh.
Is that part of what motivates you, being excluded?
Yeah, I think it's part of it.
If they embraced you, do you think you'd lose it?
If they embrace me, how can I talk about them? Do you know?
Yeah.
My new show on Sky now, The Fashion Police, which is finally I used to do the red carpets. My daughter and I really invented the red carpet and the interviews and then talking about the clothes. And then we stopped, and then they said, come back. And I said, no, I want to talk about the clothes without the people standing there. Because how could I say to Nicole Kidman's face, you look like, an idiot. Are you out of your mind? What? You're crazy. Are you on drugs again? And but when they're gone, you can talk about it. So it's good being excluded because she was really a friend. You can't do that to a friend.
So, Joan Rivers gets off, or sort of maintains her edge in part because the establishment excludes her.
Yeah, because they exclude me.
In the beginning, did it used to upset you that you were excluded?
No, because I knew from the beginning, a comedian, our job is to say with humor two things: everything's all right, and also the emperor has no clothes. I think, and you can't be sitting with the emperor and then be able to say he's got no clothes. So I think you have to be on the outside.
Which is a perfect moment to cue the Wisconsin heckler.
Oh my!
I think.
The only child that I think I would have liked ever was Helen Keller, because she didn't talk. And it's just...
Very funny.
Yes, it is. And if you don't, then leave.
Funny if you have a deaf son.
I happen to have a deaf mother. Oh, you stupid ass. Let me tell you what comedy is about.
Go ahead and tell me.
Oh, please. You are so stupid. Comedy is to make everybody laugh at everything and deal with things, you idiot. My mother is deaf, you stupid son of a bitch. Don't tell me. And just in case you can hear me in the hallway, I lived for 9 years with a man with one leg. Okay, you asshole? And we're going to talk about what it's like to have a man with one leg who lost it in World War II and never went back to get it, because that's fucking littering. So don't you tell me what's funny. Comedy is to make us laugh. 9/11, if we didn't laugh, where the hell would we all be? Think about that. Where the hell would we all be? How can you not find Osama? There is one outlet. He's on dialysis. There is one outlet in all of Afghanistan. Find the plug and follow the clue.
So when that guy started saying that, what went through your mind?
Oh, I'm so not used to that kind of a heckler. And I was in shock because it was such a silly little joke. Helen Keller, and I do a whole routine. She's my friend, and how do you tell her to shut up? And she can't hear, you have to hit her in the hand. Shut up, Helen, or I'll rearrange the furniture in the guest room. So, and I dealt with him very harshly. But again, there are 4,000 people out there, and they've all paid money to see a show. And you've got to shut him up and make the people relax and come back into the show. My job is to make them have a good time. That's my job.
I mean, it's part of the way it's cut, I'm sure, but there's a tangible sense there that you nearly lost them.
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel that?
Oh, yes, of course. They're in shock. Absolute shock. And you've got to let them know it's okay, it's all right, and then you've got to take them in very gently back to where we can absolutely have a good time. Very hard.
And was that the order? Was that actually the order? The next thing you said was the joke about
Yeah.
about Osama?
Well, the next thing was actually about this man I live with, Oren, having one leg.
Yes.
And then we went into 9/11 and the horror of 9/11.
Because again, when you start that line, that gag, there's a kind of moment.
Oh, everyone gets so nervous about 9/11. But I was there. in New York. I started doing jokes that night about it. Because that's how... And my daughter lost 3 friends, literally, that she knew personally in the thing. And,
Did she not say, Mom, don't do that? Please don't tell these jokes.
No, because well, she was in California.
So she didn't know.
She didn't know. So...
Do you think she would have said, don't tell them if she'd been there?
No, she knows how I deal with things the way I deal with it. But people would come up to me after the show. New York was in a state of shock. I mean, people would just... And it was a wonderful moment, too, because the whole city came together, which is interesting. But people would come up to me and say, it's the first laugh I've had. You know, and then I went into a whole thing, how I hate terrorists because they're not attractive. You know what I mean? It's like... Did you ever open a paper and go, I wonder if he's got a brother? I mean, you know, it's like... So, how are you going to deal with it? You deal with it. Again, here we go again. You got to deal with it. Let's deal with it and get on with it.
Do you feel that, is there a sense that you think that because you have license to tell people, in a sense, to kind of make people deal with it because you've dealt with it yourself? And was it a sort of...
Oh, I think,
do you feel like I've been there, look, you may not realise it now, but I'm going to make you realise it?
Oh, yes. I mean, when my husband killed himself, we didn't know where we were. And we got a call from a woman, God bless her, in Louisville, Kentucky, which is, we were in California, it's all the way across the United States, saying, my husband killed himself, and let me tell you what you're going to go through. Saved our lives. That and a friend came to the house and said, which we never knew, and said, my father killed himself, and took Melissa upstairs and talked to her. You need people to talk about it and to say it's going to be okay.
Did you feel sorry for the heckler?
Terribly. And they don't show that in the film.
But you see a bit of it in afterwards. You
have no idea how I was looking for him. Yeah, they just show a little bit. I was looking for him, to talk to him. Yeah, of course. Of course. He's in agony. He's in pain. To stand up in a comedy show, and the woman did some stupid joke about Helen Keller, to have all that, and you say, my son is deaf! I mean, what's going on in his life? I went so upset and so looking for him.
And if you'd got hold of him, what would you have said?
I would have said, tell me, have you done this? Can I get you in touch with this doctor? And I was so upset. It wasn't my mother that was deaf. My dad was deaf at the end. I was so upset I say that. My mother's deaf. Not so. It was my dad at the end. But I would have done, what can I do? How can I help? That's what I would have done. I've been through it. I get it. I've been through it.
And would it have been better for him if you hadn't been quite as fierce with him? In front of the crowd?
Probably. That was totally... Yeah. I mean, I look at it now, I go, oh, God.
I'll say, you put your hand like that when I say
yeah, oh, God, that poor man. But there were 3,999 other people out there that had paid to see me, gotten babysitters, and they should go away with a good show. I once had somebody die on stage.
Pardon?
In an act. They died in Vegas. Bring an audience back with that one.
Did you?
Yeah, but it took a little doing. I kept saying, oh, they're telling me he's all right. They had the tablecloth over his face. Oh, I just got news. He's fine. He's with his wife now. You gotta keep going.
Right, we're coming towards the end, but let's look at one more clip. Let's look at the Celebrity Apprentice clip.
So tell me, you didn't think it was going to get vicious?
No, I just thought it was at least going to be moderately fair. And my concern is how I will be portrayed. Because I have more of an image issue than you do. So that's a little unsettling.
It meant you're going to look very angry. They already said when you left, you really called them all kinds of names. Mm-hmm. So that's there. But you've
if they cut it to show that I was telling the truth...
Oh, they're not going to cut it to show you were telling the truth because they don't care. They're going to show that you left...
Pissed off.
Pissed off.
But you also came back and you also worked and you also... That's all right.
But I'm just saying.
I think it makes you more interesting, Melissa, frankly.
I'm just saying.
You have done really an amazing job, but Melissa, you're fired.
Whore pit viper. I want it now. Not getting without it.
It makes me very upset to see her that hurt. It wasn't even hurt. It was the frustration of the lies. It is such a cruel business. Sometimes I just want to say to her, why in God's name are you opening yourself up to such punishment? I mean, mine is not a choice. Mine is, I always say, it's like people say, why are you in the business? Ask a nun why she's a nun. That's my drive at 4 in the morning in the airport. I have no choice. And that's where I was by the time I could figure it out. No question where I was going. There were no drugs, there was no sex, there was nothing till I got much. That's where I was going. And just go away.
First of all, what was Melissa wearing on her foot?
She had broken, she was such a trooper. She had sprained her ankle very badly, and she was wearing one of those big, stupid boots to the whole Celebrity Apprentice.
Every time I watched it, I've ended up thinking, I wonder what's this.
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
really see this thing. You say that you don't have, we've discussed it, you've said that you don't have a choice, but she does?
I think she does. She's very smart, and she's a presenter now on Access Hollywood, Wait For Me. She's also producing this fashion review that I do. So she has a choice that she can produce when she doesn't want to be really out there being smacked. And she gets a lot of the people that don't like me turn on her. It's very interesting. When they won't say anything to me, they'll give her a nudge.
There's a bit in there which isn't in the clip where, talking about The Apprentice, and whether you were, I think she's musing on whether or not you would actually try and beat her.
Yeah, she said that...
Yeah. And she says, well, look, she'll tell you that, of course, and because all mothers will say this, they'll do anything for their children, and you indeed say, oh, no, I'd drop out tomorrow if only she could, whatever, so on and so on. And she says that, but I'm not sure, I don't think she can. And then, of course, in the end, you go on, she gets kicked out and you go on and win.
Yeah, but that was because we were on separate teams, though.
Yeah.
If she had been on my team, that wouldn't have happened. I would take the bullets for my daughter. Only people I would take a bullet for would be my daughter and my grandson. Only ones I get out of and my dogs that I'd get out of the lifeboat for.
Were there any areas in the film that were sort of off limits? Or areas of your life that were off limits?
I think Ricky was amazing, Ricky Stern. No, once we said, let's do it, let's do it. Otherwise, it's going to be like Anna Wintour, that stupid documentary. You learned nothing except she has nice clothes. I'm sorry, probably the people here that did it. One of the stupidest documentaries I ever saw. Totally controlled by her.
Yeah. Actually, she's sitting at the back.
Oh, no, trust me,
she's not,
if she were here, she'd be sitting right here. With that constipated look. But, so I thought, it's not fair. If Ricky's going to do it, let her do it.
And I asked you this last night, but the people here weren't there necessarily. But was there anything that came up in the film that surprised you?
Not real. Well, just this, how rough I was on the heckler.
On the heckler.
How tough I can be on stage. It's like when you walk on stage, you're a lion tamer. I'm in control. We're going to have fun, but you got to listen to me. Because if he wants to be funnier than me, then let him come on stage. And you're not going to have as good an evening. So your choice. And that's really what you have to be as a performer.
So have we met the real Joan Rivers?
Who knows? Who cares? The poor...
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Who cares?
Who cares? Let them meet who they want to meet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that would seem like a perfectly appropriate point to end. Joan Rivers. Thank you very much.
Do you just sit here?
Huh?
Do you just stay here?
You stay here, wander around, leave.